Welcome to the Reddit Chronicles. Today we will be reading from Today I F'd Up. Our first post is by a random string of letters. Today I F'd up by accidentally broadcasting my karaoke session to the entire company. So, this happened just yesterday, and I'm still cringing at the thought of it. I work for a pretty large tech company, and we've been working remotely since the pandemic hit. We use a popular video conferencing tool for all our meetings, and it's been a lifesaver. But yesterday, it turned into my worst nightmare. I had just finished a long, draining meeting with some clients and decided to take a break. My go-to stress buster is singing karaoke. I have a whole setup at home, a microphone, a speaker, and a karaoke app on my laptop. I decided to belt out some of my favorite tunes to lift my spirits. Here's where the F-up begins. I thought I had exited the video conferencing tool after the meeting, but I hadn't. I was still logged in, and worse, I was still screen sharing. I didn't realize this as I opened my karaoke app and started my solo concert. I sang my heart out, performing dramatic renditions of everything from Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody to Britney Spears' Oops, I Did It Again. I was in my own world, completely oblivious to the fact that my performance was being broadcasted live to my entire company. I only realized what had happened when I started receiving a flood of messages on my phone. My colleagues were texting me, some in fits of laughter, others in second-hand embarrassment. My boss even sent me a message saying, "Nice voice, but maybe save it for after work hours?" I quickly closed the karaoke app and the video conferencing tool, my face burning with embarrassment. I wanted to crawl into a hole and never come out. So there you have it. I'm now known as the karaoke king at work, and I don't think I'll live this down anytime soon. The only silver lining, my boss did say I had a nice voice. TLDR. Thought I had logged out of a video conference after a meeting, started a karaoke session while still screen sharing, broadcasting my performance to the entire company, now known as the karaoke king at work. Next up, posted by Nerdy Valkyrie. The time Justice got caught destroying stuff and his mom made everything worse. I just saw a video and was reminded of an event from my childhood. I think it qualifies as an entitled parent story. But it might also just be an insane parent story. This must have been when I was like 12 years old, so some details are spotty and most of it has been filled in secondhand by my mom years later. There was a kid who lived in the same condo complex, or whatever it's called, where I lived for a while as a kid. I always thought the kid was an insufferable douche, but my stepbrother was friends with the guy. The English translation of his name was, and I am not kidding here, Justice. Justice constantly did dumb stuff, to the point where he got expelled from the school and had to go to a different school further away. I don't recall what he did to get expelled, but in our country you have to do something seriously bad for that to happen. However, it went down before my mom and I moved in with my stepdad, so my stepbrother used to go to school with him. Justice's mom was the classic, "my son is Angel" type of mom who never punished him for anything. One night, Justice and some other kids went through every stairwell in our condo complex and unscrewed and took all the light bulbs. They got into the stairwells where they didn't live by calling random people on the door phone and claiming to be some innocent kid who forgot their keys, and well-meaning strangers buzzed them through the door. They then brought all the bulbs into the forest and smashed them. Justice then bragged to my stepbrother about this. Now my stepbrother was no angel by any means, but even he thought this level of destruction was a bit much, so he told our parents, who in turn told the board of the HOA, or whatever the condo equivalent of an HOA is, who filed a police report for destruction of property. Justice's family was already on thin ice for a lot of crappy things that he and his mom had done. Stuff like not picking up after their dog. Justice once let the dog do his business in the stairwell as well. Being loud and disturbing their neighbors, and some of their neighbors complained about a smell coming from their condo. More on that later. Justice also had several other cases where he had destroyed property, or was suspected to have destroyed property. A lot of people in the neighborhood also thought Justice's mom was a hoarder, but she never let anyone else in the condo, so nobody could tell for sure. But the part that was visible from the door was definitely cluttered. So, needless to say, they were already bordering on being evicted when this happened. And this was the straw that broke the camel's back. So the board contacted a lawyer to do the groundwork for an eviction process, and they were annoyed about what a lengthy and frustrating process this was going to be. Evicting someone in our country is seriously hard. However, Justice's mom decided to make this easier for them. The board arranged an event where we were all going to work together and clean the area around the condo complex. Unfortunately, our family had a definitely real and not at all impromptu reason to go visit my grandparents for a few days, and this was totally planned months ago and couldn't be changed, so sadly we couldn't attend. But after what happened, I kind of wished we had. You see, Justice's mom, enraged by the fact that the board had filed a police report on her son, she didn't even know about the eviction yet, charged and attacked the chairwoman during the event, in broad daylight and full view of pretty much everyone in the complex. Aside from us, Justice's mom attacked the chairwoman while screaming like a madwoman that the chairwoman was a child hater, a monster, and that she deserved to die. Justice's mom tried to strangle the chairwoman but was quickly restrained by the others. Police were called, and Justice's mom was arrested for assault. Thankfully, this helped speed up the eviction process considerably. Justice's mom ended up with a restraining order as well. So I guess you could say Justice's mom was served. What? You know damn well somebody in the comments would have made that pun if I hadn't. The last few days Justice and his mom had left in the condo, Justice talked often and loudly about how moving away was their choice, how everyone else in this town sucked, and how much better the city they were moving to was. He insisted that the place was so warm and nice that they had palm trees. I had been in that city, and I easily informed him of the fact that this wasn't true. In fact, nowhere in our northern European country had palm trees. It was such a ridiculous claim to make. I don't know if his mom told him that, or if he made that lie up himself. He kept insisting that it was true, however. As a bonus, when the eviction date passed, Justice and his mom still had not moved. The HOA waited for the mom to leave the condo and got a locksmith to open up the door and change the locks. They then discovered two things. A. The rumors of Justice's mom being a hoarder was true. Her condo was cluttered with all kinds of junk that the HOA boxed up and moved to a storage unit. On Justice's mom's dime, of course. But more importantly, B, the condo was in a terrible condition. For one, it stank. It reeked of cat pee to the point where they must have let their cats, and probably their dog too, pee on the floor for years without doing anything about it or even trying to clean it. There was also mold and a ton of damage done to the apartment. Some of the damage was probably made on purpose to punish the HOA, but some of it was probably just run-of-the-mill neglect. It took months of work to make the condo presentable again. They had to replace basically everything in there, including the floors and some of the inner walls. It was so bad, I am pretty sure they had to do some work in the downstairs neighbor's ceiling as well to fix the damages. Looking back as an adult, I honestly feel a bit bad for Justice. He was indeed a douche, but no wonder considering how his mom was. Nobody really suspected how bad it was for him. Usually, you have this idea that if the parent is a hoarder, the kid will show signs of neglect. But Justice never looked neglected. His clothes were clean and he always looked fed. But it's pretty clear he acted out the way he did to get attention from his mom. TLDR kid destroys stuff to get attention from his mom. His mom assaults someone in front of witnesses to defend her kid. Edit. I just remembered another fun thing that Justice's mom did. My stepdad used to live in her stairwell before he met my mom, and he was repeatedly annoyed by her letting her cats out into the stairwell and just assuming someone else would let them outside, and not cleaning up when her cats pissed in the stairwell. One day when my stepdad was leaving, he saw one of her cats in the stairwell and used his foot to push it out the door so it wouldn't be locked inside. Apparently Justice's mom saw that, and I don't remember if the cat in question actually ran away or if she just banked on nobody knowing how many cats she had. But after that, she told everyone in the neighborhood that my stepdad had kicked one of her cats to death. Thankfully, everyone knew she was full of BS at that point, so nobody believed her. Thank you for listening to the Reddit Chronicles. Follow for more content.